Jan friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English because I'm speaking from personal experience. The problem is with countries like Pakistan, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon. These are the countries that have nothing to offer to this world. Israel has won all its wars simply because it cannot afford to lose. There is no scope for error in Israel. If they lose, they know that Israel will cease to exist. Jan friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Now, before my friends, I take you to this most discussed Israel-Hamas war that is happening and the entire world is, watching and waiting with bated breath. There is something that I'd like to share with you. You know, Shahid Latif, that Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist responsible for the Pathankot attacks, he was killed. There is some more news from that killing, and it's from Pakistan. A targeted attack on a Daska mosque during Fajr prayers, the Fajr namaz, on Wednesday. What happened was, I'll tell you, what happened was that, so what the police are saying is that 6 unidentified men came. They must have come in motorcycles, 2-3 motorcycles. So they came to the Noor-e-Madina Masjid in Mandi ke Goraya Chowk. This is in Sialkot, of course. And they joined the prayer. So they started praying, they started offering Fajr namaz. And in the middle of the namaz, they got up and they started firing. And all this is happening inside this Noor-e-Madina Masjid. Inside the masjid, there is mad firing happening and people are firing. And, people are getting shot and the assailants then run away. They make a clean escape. Now, police said that prayer leader Maulana Ahad, so he was the imam or he was leading the prayer at that point in time. Maulana Mohammad Latif, this is Shahid Latif. All right, Maulana Muhammad Shahid Latif and his security guard Hashim Ali were seriously injured in the firing, and Latif died, immediately after because he was shot in the head. Now, somebody getting shot in the head, ladies and gentlemen, at a close distance, this is an execution style killing. So the intent here is, finish him off. So there are no comebacks, he doesn't survive in the hospital, etc. Now, the other people were also shot, and Maulana Ahad and the security guard were immediately shifted to the Daska Tehsil headquarters in a critical condition. The other 2 also later died. So they also died, the other 2. The idea was apparently because the police say, and please listen to the police statement here, that's very important. Listen to the police statement and then I'll come back.
अननोन गनमैन आए हैं अंदर, उन्होंने फायरिंग की है. इसको हम टारगेट किलिंग भी कह सकते हैं और टेररिज्म तो डेफिनेटली इसको हम ट्रीट कर रहे हैं. इसमें शाहिद साहब की और साथ हाशिम साहब थे, उनकी इंतकाल हो गया और तीसरे जो मजरूब हैं उनके इलाज जारी है, अब्दुल अहद साहब की. मौके से हमने जो अहम शवाहिद हैं वो इकट्ठे किए हैं, उन पर हम काम कर रहे हैं. शाहिद साहब को सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट भी था, उसके मुताबिक वो अपनी पोजीशन रखते थे और चीज़ों को जो है उसके मुताबिक देख रहे. तमाम इदारे इस वक्त साथ यहाँ पे इसकी तफ्तीश कर रहे हैं और इंशाअल्लाह ताला हम इसको जल्द जो है वो ट्रेस करेंगे.
सर, सिक्योरिटी के हवाले से नाकाबंदी कर दी गई है या क्या?
जी, इस वाक़े की इत्तला मिलती ही मैं ख़ुद भी और तमाम हमारी फोर्स है वो फ़ौरन पहुँची और इंशाअल्लाह उल अज़ीज़ इसको हम ट्रेस करेंगे.
Now, the district police officer Mohammad Hassan Iqbal, you've heard his statement, and he's saying that this is a targeted killing, and we'll also call it an incident of terrorism, where terrorists have shot dead this guy, Shahid, and 2 other people, the Imam and Hashim, who is the security guard. These 3 people were killed, and he confirmed, the policeman confirmed, the district police officer confirmed that Mohammad Shahid Latif had been a Jaish-e-Mohammed activist. Mohammad Shahid Latif was part of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and he was the one who had guided the 4 terrorists who had carried out a terror attack at the Pathankot airbase in 2016. This is what it is. He was the guy who masterminded Pathankot. Latif was arrested in India. Now, this is shameful. Latif was arrested in India in 1994 on terror charges. He was then put on trial and eventually jailed. He was deported to Pakistan in 2010. In 2010, Shahid Latif, or Maulana Muhammad Shahid Latif, his full name, he was deported because Pakistan apparently said that, this man is the jewel of Pakistan and he's a terrorist and we need to make him a public figure and we need to make him a celebrity in Pakistan, and young kids look up to him and that is what they want to become, and we want, millions of Shahid Latifs in Pakistan. And so India deported him for some reason. The government in 2010 deported him, after which this man, within 5-6 years, came back and did Pathankot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we go back to this entire conflict between Israel and Hamas. Now, obviously it has spread. Wars have a tendency of spreading, and I'm very surprised that the Ukraine-Russia war has not spread. You see, it's been a very contained war, and I can't figure out why. Generally, wars which are spread over a lot of time, and they go on from months and months, they tend to spread. Look at the Israel-Hamas war. It started off, and within 3 days, other parties joined in. And which are the other parties? Lebanon and Syria have started attacking Israel. So from Lebanon, it is the Hezbollah, and from Syria, it is the Syrians, of course. And just days after Hamas attacked Israel, Lebanon's Hezbollah fired a guided missile at an Israeli tank to express solidarity with the Palestinian people. Israel responded by striking an observation post belonging to the Iran-backed group. The violence marks the most serious escalation along the Lebanese-Israeli frontier since 2006 conflict between Hezbollah and Israel. Hezbollah was founded, here it is, the main point here. Hezbollah was founded by Iran's Revolutionary Guards in 1982 to export its Islamic revolution and fight Israeli forces that had invaded Lebanon. So Hezbollah is the official creation of the state of Iran. The Iranian, the Islamic Republican Guards were the people who created the Hezbollah. And they have said, this group has said that Israel can't even imagine the size of our weapons stockpile. So they're saying we have so many weapons. We have so many weapons that Israel can't even imagine we have so many weapons. Now, Israel has obviously responded to fire by more fire, and that is the typical Israeli way. And I think that should be the typical way to respond to anybody who attacks your country. And Israel has started targeted, attacks in both Syria and Lebanon. In Lebanon, they took out an observation post. Syria, they bombed certain places in Syria, and that should teach the Syrians and the Lebanese a lesson, especially the Hezbollah. All right, nearly 3,600 people have been killed, and as we reported yesterday, Israel claims that it has regained control of the Gaza Strip. Now, according to the United Nations, 340,000 Gazans are now homeless. So out of 2.4 million, 340,000 Gazans are now homeless, and I don't know why Egypt has blocked the entry of Gazans. Egypt is a Muslim state. Wasn't that what it was all about? Muslim countries supporting Muslim countries, right? Egypt is a Muslim country. Lebanon is a Muslim country. Now, it used to be a Christian country once upon a time. Now it's a Muslim majority country. Palestine, for all practical purposes, is a declared Muslim country. So why aren't the Gazans being allowed to enter Egypt? Israel has said no. Israel has just blocked the border. They said, we don't care where you go. You can't come into Egypt. In a targeted attack, ladies and gentlemen, Israel has killed Abu Osama. Abu Osama's real name is Abd al-Fattah Dukhan. He was one of the founding members of Hamas, very close to the Iranian regime. He went to Iran. It is reported that he's gone to Iran, stayed in Iran for a few months or for a few years. We don't know exactly. He received money, he received training, he received indoctrination, and Hamas terrorist. He was killed in an airstrike. So Israelis came to know where Abu Osama was sitting, standing, sleeping, whatever. And a small little missile entered his house, and that was the end of the illustrious career of His Excellency Abu Osama. He's no more, and he was, listen to this, this is the funny part. He was taken down in the Nusayrat neighborhood in the center of Gaza, and Dukhan, Abd al-Fattah Dukhan, he was a school principal actually. This guy was a school principal when he created the Hamas, and so this is the kind of school principals that you have in Gaza. This is the kind of teachers that you have in Gaza. You see, and you have these people. The school principal, Osama bin Laden, was a civil engineer. Al-Zawahiri was a doctor, a medical doctor. This is a school principal, and a school principal creates Hamas. So no amount of education can get violence and jihad out of your bloodstream. And there are these 4-5 countries, 57 Muslim countries in the world. They might have their own problems. Every country has their own problems. All right? China has, America has, India has, every country will have its own internal problems, all right? But out of these 57 Muslim countries, there are 4 or 5 that are repeat offenders, ladies and gentlemen. And this entire jihad nonsense takes place there. You know, you often blame the entire, that is not so. You will not find any jihadi nonsense happening in Malaysia. They don't allow it. Indonesia, the biggest Muslim country in the world, they don't allow such nonsense. It's the biggest Muslim country in the world, Indonesia. No jihad, right? Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, you name the countries. No jihad. Peaceful countries, you come, work. I've traveled to Malaysia. I have traveled to Indonesia. I've stayed in Indonesia for a week or so. And I've interacted with the Arabs. You know, I've interacted with, actually guys from Saudi Arabia. I've interacted with the guys from UAE. Very fine, normal people. Yeah. The problem, I'm telling you, this whole thing that we think, no, the problem is with the Islamic world. Actually, that is not true. Because I'm speaking from personal experience. The problem is with countries like Pakistan, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon. These are the countries that have nothing to offer to this world. They have nothing to offer to this world. And they keep on doing jihad, jihad, jihad. There was a time when Saudi Arabia used to fund a lot of masjids and fund a lot of madrasas. Even Saudi Arabia realized that these people are fools, these jihadis. They're idiots. You know, they're up to, and they cannot be controlled. They're up to no good. So Saudi Arabia shut it down. They shut down this entire ecosystem of jihad in Saudi Arabia. Now, if you're a jihadi and you're caught in Saudi Arabia, you're dead. You're so dead. They won't spare you. You know, Bangladesh has clamped down on jihadis. So many Muslim countries, 57. The problem is in these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries. You'll not find jihadis in Africa, maybe 1 or 2 countries in Africa, Boko Haram, right? But generally Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Pakistan, these are the basket cases of the Islamic world. You know, if the Islamic world is a barrel, they're the bottom of the barrel. You know, you scrape the bottom of the barrel and you get a Pakistan or a Palestine or something like that. So that is, you know, what is happening as far as this whole thing is concerned. So Abu Osama goes for a toss, and Gaza has run out of fuel. Gaza has run out of food. Gaza has run out of water. Gaza has run out of medicines. Gaza has run out of everything except air. Except for air, there is nothing else in Gaza. In a very smart move, Prime Minister Netanyahu has introduced a wartime emergency government. Israel is in a state of war, a wartime emergency government. And you know what Benjamin Netanyahu has done? Very smart of him. What he has done is he has taken opposition party leader Benny Gantz with him. So, and they've formed a war cabinet, a 3-member war cabinet. And you know who's in that cabinet? The Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, Benny Gantz, and Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, and 2 other top officials as observers. Now, this is what I love about Israel, you know, and their politics is no cleaner than ours. You know, we say that politics in India is dirty. It is exactly the same for Israelis also. They're as good or as bad as us Indians. But you know, one thing different about the Israelis, when it comes to the country, there is no politics. When it comes to the country, everybody is on one thing. They don't care who wins elections or loses elections. And there is a reason for that. Because Israel knows that all their wars are existential. Israel has won all its wars simply because it cannot afford to lose. There is no scope for error in Israel. If they lose, they know that Israel will cease to exist. If they lose, heaven forbid, if Israel loses, all these jihadis will come there. All these jihadis who are jealous of Israel's prosperity. You know, this ideology of Hamas and Hezbollah is also guided by religious fanaticism, yes. By radical Islamist ideology, yes. But also jealousy. You know, Jews are doing well. It's a first world country, lovely infrastructure, great jobs, top-end technology, research and development happening. Who does not want to live in such a country? But if your neighbor is well off and you are not well off, right? Because of you yourself, because you are uneducated and you are jihadi in your mindset and all you want to do is shed blood, but your neighbor is doing very well. It is very natural and very human for you to be jealous of your neighbor. And this is also one of the, apart from religious ideology, political differences, there is a great deal of jealousy because Israel is richer. Israel is better placed. And there is a great deal of jealousy amongst these, Muslim countries close by. They're extremely jealous of Israel. And the last news of the day, which I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Israel PM says that every Hamas member is a dead man. And this is the threat by the Prime Minister of Israel. And he says that Israel's intention is to destroy Hamas. And he says Hamas is Daesh, the Islamic State. And we will crush them and destroy them as the world has destroyed Daesh. And every Hamas member, he says, is a dead man. So if you're from the Hamas and wherever you are, this is unsaid by the Israeli Prime Minister, but let me tell you, there are senior Hamas members who are living in Qatar, who are living in Turkey, right? And Israel has a very old history. It does not matter in which country you're living. You could be living in Germany, England, US. Israel will find you and Israel will wipe you out. The orders have been given by the Prime Minister, and I'm sure Mossad is at work. They'll find out who did it. They'll find out all the people responsible. Anybody who at one point in time had even thought of joining Hamas, and they will be brought to justice. Israel is an expert. Israel has done that in the past. Israel has that capability. And they have a group. They have a group inside Mossad called Kidon. Kidon. Please look it up on the internet. What is Kidon? And you'll come to know the capabilities that Israel possesses. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to the question and answers. And Sai Prasad Upadhyay, he's a second year law student. Greetings to the one-man army, Major Gaurav Arya. Hello, Sai Prasad ji. I'm no one-man army here. I'm just one guy. That's it. And he's saying India will be forever indebted to your service. No, I will be indebted forever to my country for deeming me worthy to be of service. A nation can never be indebted to an individual. It is always the individual that is indebted to the nation. Recently, I saw a YouTube short of Colonel Bakshi Saab speaking about TSD, that it had not been disbanded. Hafiz Saeed Salahuddin and Dawood would have been dead long ago. Could you please throw some light on this and explain how lethal the TSD was and why was it closed down? I don't have any knowledge, Sai Prasad ji, I don't have any knowledge of the TSD. I've had the honor and pleasure of meeting Colonel Bakshi, but I don't know anything about TSD. I'm not aware, and this is something that Colonel Bakshi will be in a better position to answer because he was leading the TSD at one point in time, right? And he would know far better. I don't know. I only know about TSD what is available in the media. So what capabilities they had, whether they could have done this operation or that I'm not aware of. So I will not answer this question. Then there is Sarosiva. I don't know. Good morning, Major. Good morning, Ji. It's widely believed that top leaders of Hamas are already in countries like Qatar and Iran. Under the circumstances, how effective and long-lasting will be any solution arrived by Israel? Only by neutralizing lower-level terrorists. We've already discussed this, actually, and I've already mentioned this. And Israel is going to go after Hamas wherever they are in the world. They're in Turkey, they're in Iran, they're in Qatar. It doesn't matter. Israel, when it comes to the safety and security of Israel, Israel is not great at respecting international borders. They've carried out operations in the heart of Europe. They've carried out operations in America. They've carried out operations everywhere. If you endanger the state of Israel, they will find you. They will find you, and you can be hiding under a rock in a small village in Pakistan, they'll still find you. Ajay Boeing. Wow. Jain sir. Jain Ajay ji. I have a doubt. If Israel goes for ground invasion, how will they differentiate terrorists from civilians? They can easily use people as human shields or blend with them. How will they successfully execute the operation? Can you enlighten me based on your military experience? In my military experience, I have never done such an operation, Ajay ji. So I don't know. The answer is that I don't know. How will Israel do it? But they have profiles of every Hamas member who's active. They have his photograph. They have intelligence. They have Mossad operating in Gaza. They have their sources in Gaza. They have their sources in the West Bank. They have their sources in Lebanon. They have their sources in Syria. They have sources everywhere. And all these operations are int-based operations. So when you go, there are things like, for example, it's not just neutralizing of people actually. It is also about infrastructure. So, that building belongs to Hamas. So that building goes. These tunnels underground are used by Hamas. Those tunnels go. These lines of communication and supply are used by Hamas. Those lines of communication and supply go. That is how it is done. And then you identify a Hamas guy. Oh, that building. 5 Hamas operatives are there. So somebody launches an operation and gets them. This is how it happens. That is why Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, he said, it's a long haul. It's going to be a long, ugly and a bitter war. They have to go street by street and clear everything. It's not easy. It's horribly tough, but that's what it is. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.